gang, it's Dave again from React, coming to you today from the React Market Research Center in North Wildwood, New Jersey. We're talking to you today in regard to a couple of different things. Last time we talked about a cross-market drag through a Foursquare post, something that we would do off of what we call the synergistic platforms. There's multiple synergies and multiple platforms for us to use today for the purpose of finding people and getting listings and selling properties and doing everything that we want to do with real estate. And it's really not that hard. It's just sort of understanding what the process is in the scope of basically a sphere of influence. And we're just trying to create a international sphere, or at least a national sphere, as opposed to just a local sphere anymore. We're not just going to our local Rotary meetings and our local soccer games on Sundays and Saturdays and being sort of just part of the community. We're literally part now of a national, if not an international community. And that's one of the cool things about synergistic platforms. It's also one of the cool things about increasing your sphere on a much larger level. We talk about a couple of things from time to time, and when I'm teaching, I normally talk about something that's rather neat in our world, and one of those things is called a cross-market drag. Now, that sounds kind of weird, and it has nothing to do with transgender dressing or anything like that. Effectively, what a cross-market drag is taking your clients or your potential clients from one platform, effectively a social platform, and dragging them across the digital gap or the digital jump to another platform to where they really want to go, or to where you really want them to go. Because ultimately, to get them as a friend or to get them as somebody who's following you is fairly important. Obviously, if they're part of an email campaign or part of your WordPress blog or part of anything that you're doing to grab their attention, that's great. And so you use that information and you use that data to then put more information in front of them, hopefully a listing or sale or whatever the case may be, or how you can help them, and then drag them to a point where they're ready to click and then buy or sell or whatever the case may be. So ultimately, the cross-market drag is fairly important because just like in anything else, if I were a soccer dad, soccer mom in this case, and I was, so on Saturdays and Sundays for about 10 straight years, I would go to soccer games and stand there on the sidelines with other parents watching soccer games being commenced or whatever. So as we're standing there, obviously we talk about a ton of different things. We also go to hotels and whatever and spend weekends doing nothing but watching soccer, and eventually you sort of become friends with these people and they become part of your sphere of influence, and vice versa. So that's kind of what we're talking about. You're taking that quote-unquote friendship and dragging it across to where you really want it to be, even if you didn't intend it, and many times I didn't. If you drag them across to your place where you could potentially utilize that information and make them part of your sales world. Very, very cool stuff. So most likely the most common version of all of that is Facebook. So most people have a certain number of Facebook friends, let's say 275. Many have much more than that. Some people are into the thousands, and that's great. I would always say you cannot have too many Facebook friends. As you get to the 4,000 or 5,000 level, Facebook then kind of determines that you're bigger than just being friends, and so you have to go to sort of a different level. It's almost like rock star level, something like that, which is okay too, because if you go into, let's say, I don't know, Taylor Swift's Facebook page, she probably has millions of followers and therefore couldn't possibly have that many friends. They changed them over to followers at that point in time. But followers are just as good because anything that you post from your pages go into their news feed, and as it goes into their news feed, it gives you the opportunity to be in front of them and display whatever it is you want to display, whether it's sales or marketing, etc. The other cool thing is, as you create those pages, you take a personal page and then you divide and sort of devour certain niche pages or business pages. So there could be the regular Dave page, and that's friends and family and all that kind of stuff. And then there's sort of the business page, which would be React coaching or motivational or whatever the case may be, because that's one of the things that I do. The other thing about a niche page is you can grab it to wherever you want it to go. I always tease people in classes and say, you could have a niche page about crocheting. Now, I know nothing about crocheting, and I don't ever intend to know anything about crocheting, but I will tell you that there are thousands, if not millions of people out there who do know stuff about crocheting. Well, Dave, what does crocheting have to do with anything about selling real estate? Technically, it doesn't. But I bet you if you crocheted a blanket and threw it over the back of a sofa in a home that you just listed, and then took a picture of that blanket on the back of a sofa on a home that you just listed, and then posted that to your crocheting fans and say, take a look at this really cool blanket that I just crocheted for the new owner or the person who just listed their home with me on XYZ Anywhere Street. That is a post, and all of a sudden you've taken your potential crocheting Facebook friends or niche page friends and dragged them to where you really wanted them to go, which, by the way, would be to your real estate page or your business page. So how do you do that? You post it on the crocheting page, and then you share that same post onto your niche page or onto your Facebook business page. So now all of a sudden, your crocheting friends, whether they knew it or not, now know that you sell real estate for a living, which is somewhat ironic because sometimes you go weeks, months, and years with talking to people, never realize exactly what they do on the sidelines of a soccer field because you just didn't think about it. In this particular case, now we can do it without even saying anything. We just do it automatically through Facebook and social media. The other cool thing is you can take that same post and you could post it as part of a LinkedIn post. Now, LinkedIn is pretty cool because it's sort of more of a professional connection, and you have a professional profile or individual profile, and you can also link that to a business page profile. So if your company doesn't have a business page, urge them to get a business page, and urge as many of the people within your company to be part of the business page, and then, of course, post and drag those business posts, such as market conditions, etc., onto your personal page. Obviously, if you do that with LinkedIn, you can also tie in that to Twitter. I always say I've never tweeted my entire life. I have tweeted some in my entire life, but I've got 14,000 tweets, and I would tell you that I've actually tweeted probably less than 50 times. And mainly because anything that I post to Facebook and anything I post to LinkedIn and anything that I post to Pinterest also goes to my Twitter page. And therefore I've gained a certain number of Twitter followers which like the posts that I do. Whether they do or they don't, they follow me, so that's all that matters, and there's more potential for more followers there. Same thing with Pinterest, obviously. So if you take that same post of that picture of the crocheted blanket and you post it to your Pinterest page under some other format, such as crocheted blankets, right? Then you can take that same post and repin it onto really cool houses or new listings. Because then as you pin that picture, you can embed the picture with the website of where they could find that new listing. You can embed that picture with your website. You can embed that picture with a capture site that you might have through your local broker or whatever the case may be. So those are all cool things because you're dragging them again from where you effectively know them, and you're taking that cross-market drag and you're dragging them to where you really want them to go, which is potential customers. Very, very cool stuff. Same thing that applies to like a WordPress or Blogger, whatever the case may be. If you've got any of that stuff, you can post it to where it normally would go and then drag those people over to where you really want them to go. One of the easiest ways to do this, as we talked about last time, is on Foursquare and on Yelp. So if you're checking in on Foursquare, let's say to the local pizza joint, which is fine, and a lot of people say, I really don't want anybody to know where I'm at. Yes, you do. Technically you do. Because what you do is you're going to take maybe a picture of your latest listing and say, oh, this listing is only 4 blocks away from the local pizza joint. And then in that picture, you can actually post again your website. You can post again, you can embed essentially your website, your capture site, or any other information about the property through an embedding process that's done right through Foursquare and Facebook, right through Foursquare and Yelp. So those are cool things. You check into the pizza joint, but you actually post a picture of either your property, or what I do is a motivational post. Why do I do a motivational post? Because people love motivation and it's more likely to be shared. So when they share my motivational post, they also share with it my embedded website information. So as the picture gets shared all over the place, my website information goes with it, which is actually very, very cool. So, and you can pull up all the social information. So as people check into Foursquare, now I can pull their information off of Foursquare. As people like my Foursquare post, I can pull their information off of wherever they like my post, because I send it to Facebook and I send it to Twitter. And as people follow me and like those things and share those things, I can pull all of that data off of the social media sites so that I can recontact them through my contact list. And that's another session that we can have at another time. So our contact list can be done on a variety of different levels. You're seeing one of them right now through viral marketing. If you want to be good through the video process, then I would contact viral marketing today, talk to Frank, and make sure that you immerse yourself into this process. The one main reason is, according to Liz Landry at Keller Williams, 0.78% of all real estate agents use video in their marketing concepts, and 75% of all people who viewed and purchased properties online indicated that video was one of the major factors in deciding whether they purchased the property or not. So don't be bashful, certainly, about video, and don't be sort of subdued to the sense that video really doesn't work all that much. It works absolutely fabulously, and as Liz would tell you, don't worry about how you look or how you sound, because you really can't change that anyway. So might as well just use who you are, and that's who you are anyway, and that's why people like you, and that's why people buy from you. Pretty cool stuff. I'll stop right there for now because we have tons and tons and tons of more stuff, and I'll go into that a little bit more. But that's what we call the cross-market drag, and I would utilize that as much as possible on as many levels as possible, thus the name Synergistic Platforms. Thanks so much for joining us at the React Markets Research Center, and I hope to see you soon.